Hey everyone, I'm Liz and today I'm going to show you how to make a top hat for your amigurumi. You could make this top hat to fit any size doll, or you could make it into a hair clip like I've done with this one here. Some things you'll need are a crochet hook, I'll be using a size E, a pair of scissors to cut off your yarn, a yarn needle to sew in your ends, I'm going to use a bobby pin to mark my stitches, and you'll need yarn. I'll be using Gray Heather from Red Heart Super Saver, but you can use any color you like. I'm going to start with a double magic circle. First I'm going to loop my yarn around my fingers twice. Then I'm going to take my hook and into the middle of my two loops I'm going to insert my hook. I'm going to pull up a loop and chain one. Then I'm going to chain one more, and that is going to count as my first stitch. I want to have a total of 8 stitches, so I'm going to single crochet 7 more times into my magic circle. So I have my 8 stitches of single crochet. Now it's time to close this circle. First I'm going to pull on the tail a little bit, so that I have a bigger loop and a smaller loop. Then I'm going to take that smaller loop and I'm going to pull it from the side closest to the tail. Until the bigger loop closes completely. Then I'm just going to pull on the tail until the other loop closes. And now I have my magic circle. Now I'm going to do the next row. First I'm going to find that chain that I made that counted as the first stitch. Then I'm going to single crochet into that chain. And before I continue, I'm going to use my bobby pin to mark that as the first stitch of the row. And in this row, I'm going to increase every stitch. So I'm going to go back into the same chain and I'm going to single crochet again. Then I'm going to increase the next one by single crocheting twice into the same stitch. And I'm going to continue to increase every stitch until I get back to my stitch marker. So I've gotten to the end of the row. Now I'm going to remove my stitch marker and do the first stitch of the next row. And in this next row, I'm going to increase every other stitch. So I've done my first stitch. So into the second, I'm going to single crochet twice. And I'm going to continue to increase every second stitch until I get back to my stitch marker. I've gotten to the end of another row and done my first stitch of the next row. Now in this row I'm going to increase every third stitch. So single crochet the next stitch, and then in the third stitch single crochet twice to increase. And I'm going to continue to increase every third stitch until I get to the end of my row. I've gotten to the end of another row, and this time I'm going to stop increasing. If you want a larger sized hat, you could continue to increase. In this row you would increase every fourth stitch, in the next every fifth stitch, then every sixth, and so on. Just continue to increase until you reach the size that you want. But I'm going to stop increasing, and in this row I'm going to work only in the back loops. See here at the top of the stitch we have a pair of loops. I'm going to leave this one out so that there will be a line here along the top of the hat, and I'm going to crochet in the loop on the back here. And I'm going to continue to single crochet into those back loops until I get to the end of the row. I've also made a broken version of this hat for this scarecrow doll that I made. To do that, instead of single crocheting for a row in the back loops, I'm going to count the stitches in my row. I already know that I have 32 stitches in my row. Then I'm going to chain the same amount as I have stitches in the row. So I've finished my 32 chain. Next I'm going to slip stitch to the last stitch of my previous row. So that I have a circle the same width as the top of my hat. Then I'm going to do a row of single crochet into the loops of my chain. But if you're just making a regular hat, then you should skip this step. So I've reached the end of the row, and now I'm going to stop working in just the back loops, and I'm going to crochet instead on the posts of the stitches. First I'm going to remove my stitch marker. Then I'm going to pull up a loop around the stitch itself rather than in the top of the stitches. And single crochet. And I'm going to continue working on the post of every stitch all the way around. I'm going to continue on the posts for 9 rows. And I'm going to continue to mark the first stitch with my bobby pin as I go. So I've finished with one row working on the posts of the stitches, and I'm going to continue working on the posts for 8 more rows of single crochet. You may want to do more or less rows depending on the size you want. Just go on until you've reached the length that you want. So I've come to the end of 8 more rows. And the reason we did those post stitches for 9 rows is so that we would have these rows of loops on the inside of the hat to give the hat a little more structure. And now I'm going to work in the back loops again, but this time I'm going to increase at the same time. Since I last increased every 3rd stitch, this time I'm going to increase every 4th stitch, but you should just add 1 to whatever number you stopped increasing last. So I'm going to single crochet until I get to the 4th stitch. And in that 4th stitch, I'm going to single crochet 2 times into the back loop to increase. And I'm going to continue to increase every 4th stitch until I reach the end of the row. I've gotten to the end of the row. Now in this row, I'm going to stop working in just the back loops and increase every 5th stitch. So I'm going to single crochet until I get to the 5th stitch. And here on the 5th stitch, I'm going to single crochet twice to increase. And I'm going to continue to increase until I get to the end of my row. Now I'm at the end of my row, and I'm going to stop increasing the brim of the hat. You could continue to increase depending on how big you want your piece to be. You could also stop here if you want and just slip stitch to the 1st stitch of the row and cut off your yarn. But I'm going to do a row of trim all around the edge of the brim using slip stitches. So I'm going to slip stitch all the way around until I get to the end of my row. So I've gotten to the end of my row of slip stitches. I'm going to remove my stitch marker. And I'm going to slip stitch one more time to the 1st stitch of the row. And now I'm going to cut off my yarn. And now I just need to sew in this end. So as you can see, the hat is finished. If you like, you could add a row of single crochet in a different color to those loops that we left at the brim here. Just take your 2nd color of yarn, pull up a loop at the back of the work here, and chain 1. Then chain 1 more, and that'll count as your 1st stitch. Then just single crochet into every loop all the way around. And once you get back to the beginning of the row, just find that chain that you made, the one that counted as the first stitch, and slip stitch into that chain. Then you can just cut off your yarn and sew in that last end. And now that I'm done sewing in the ends, all my hats are complete. I hope you liked this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up or share it on social media. You can also find me on Facebook and Tumblr. And if you would like to support me in making new videos in the future, please consider donating to my Patreon page. All my links are in the description down below. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, subscribe to Fairy Rings on YouTube, and I'll see you next time. Bye!